At first, nothing seemed unusual about the stray Maltese dog that was handed into Turlock Police Animal Services. But after scanning her microchip, the officers realized just how wrong they had been. Surely, this couldn't be the same dog. But all the evidence proved that it was, and now they had an important call to make. May 15, 2017 was a wonderful day for many, but it was especially so for little Trixie, a 13-year-old Maltese dog who was found early that afternoon in Turlock, California. It was an unnamed Good Samaritan who discovered the pint-sized pooch, and they noticed her in a most unlikely location. Yes, Trixie had been spotted in the car park of a Walmart store, and her owner was nowhere in sight. The kind-hearted citizen correctly guessed she had been left there all along and now needed a safe place to stay. Consequently, they handed the dog in to the authorities. The citizen left Trixie in the capable hands of the Turlock Police Animal Services, and while she was there, Trixie was medically assessed and found to be in good health. Luckily, it also turned out that Trixie had been microchipped, and so her information could be tracked. Unfortunately, however, there was one major complication. The Maltese's microchip was faulty, but although the officers couldn't get all the information that they needed from the damaged implant, they did find something to identify Trixie. Yes, they discovered that the dog was registered to a veterinarian who might be able to shed some light on the stray's past. The Turlock Police Department later described the unfolding events on its official website on May 19, 2017. Animal Service Officer Katie Butler did some detective work, it wrote, and found the veterinarian on record for Trixie. However, it emerged that the little dog was far from home. Both the microchip and the veterinarian's location revealed something surprising. Trixie actually came from Kentucky. How she got to Turlock was a mystery, but it was something that the officers were interested to find out. And to that end, they were very keen indeed to talk to Trixie's owner. The veterinarian was able to put the officers in contact with the dog's human. But what Animal Services discovered when they spoke to Trixie's mommy and daddy was astonishing. As it turned out, they couldn't have been the ones who had abandoned the Maltese for one very good reason. Tammy Cruz and her family, Trixie's owners, had in fact reported their pet pooch as missing 3 years previously and had been devastated by the loss of their little dog. Trixie disappeared without any explanation one day in January 2015, and the Cruz family hadn't seen their pet since. Unsurprisingly then, the distraught family launched a campaign to try and get their pet back. Not only did they scour the neighborhood for the missing dog, but they also posted flyers in case anyone else had seen her. Unfortunately, neither approach brought any success. In an act of desperation, they even offered a reward for Trixie's safe return, but that too proved futile. The family had, however, been careful to microchip the dog when she was younger, and so there was still a chance that she could be found. All the Cruz family could do then was wait and see. No doubt their hope was tested when the years passed and there was still no sign of Trixie. But then, after 3 years, the Cruz received a call from the Turlock Police Animal Services. Their baby had finally been found and was alive and well. The Cruz family were baffled by how their pet could have ended up in California, which was more than 2,000 miles across the country. Indeed, the family had never even visited the state themselves. The only conclusion they could come to then was that Trixie had been snatched from their yard. Trixie's humans were ecstatic that they were finally going to see their baby again. There was just a matter of getting the dog all the way to Kentucky. Luckily, Turlock Animal Services Officer Glenna Jackson was more than happy to help with that. Trixie's family paid for the dog's plane ticket, and Officer Jackson accompanied her all the way to Kentucky. Tammy Cruz told ABC News on May 22, 2017, that she was deeply touched by the kind gesture. Trixie's safety had been playing on her mind. "I've woken up almost every night since they've called about her. I was worrying about getting her home," Tammy said. For Officer Jackson on that end, to go out of her way to do something that only benefits my family is such a blessing. When Officer Jackson met Tammy Cruz at the airport with Trixie, the reunion was a tearful one. Tammy was overjoyed to see her baby again after so long. And as for Trixie, she wasted no time running to her mommy's arms. With Tammy's consent, the heartwarming reunion video was shared with Officer Jackson's colleagues at Turlock. The official Turlock Police Department website, in fact, featured a quote from Jackson regarding the event. "We know that four-legged family members are just as important as the two-legged family members," she said. Turlock's mayor, Gary Soseth, even announced that he was naming Trixie as their very first pet of the year. As for Tammy, she's elated to have Trixie home with her once again. "She's supposed to be here," Tammy told ABC News. "She's supposed to be part of our family. We don't know what happened to her for 2.5 years," Thad Cruz told ABC News. "We don't know exactly what kind of adventures, good or bad, that she had, but we're so glad that she's home safe and that we get to take care of her for the rest of her life."